Disclaimer. This video is about a topic with very little documentation. I may get a few things wrong, and if I do, please correct me in the comments. Now on with the video. In the early 80s, a small chain of amusement parks called Celebration Station opened. They had go-karts, mini-golf, bumper boats, and animatronics. However, when it came to Celebration Station, animatronics weren't really the main attraction. Unlike Chuck E. Cheese or Showbiz Pizza, there were a lot more things to do there than just eat pizza and play arcade games. Because of this, they didn't really need their animatronics to be their mascots, because they weren't really what people thought of when they thought of Celebration Station. What this meant was they could change which animatronics they used fairly frequently, and they definitely did. Today, I'm going to talk about all of the animatronic bands that were at Celebration Station, starting with the first band that was at Celebration Station. While the first band at Celebration Station has a name, I can't really make it out. My best guess is the Pantones, but I'm not 100% sure. What I do know for sure is the story of the band, the names of the characters, and what the characters did. The band played for an imaginary radio station called Woof, and if that stands for something, I don't know what it is. The station manager was a moose called Major Moose. He would manage the radio station from the right stage with Aku Duck, who was the meteorologist. On the left stage there was Harry Hound, who was the radio station announcer, who was beside Howard the Gopher, which was the sportscaster. The actual members of the band were Doc the Fox, who played the guitar, Big Bear, who was a panda that played the drums, and Priscilla Purr, who was a cat that played the piano. The animatronics were created by Creative Presentations Incorporated, who were pretty experienced in creating animatronics. But other than that, that's about it for those animatronics. I could only find one video of them, and I couldn't find any information on them other than that until I reached out to the creator of the video. He helped me find some very useful information, and I couldn't have gone this in depth with this part of the video if it wasn't for him. So thanks to Brian Morrison. The link to his video of the animatronics will be in the description. The second animatronic band at Celebration Station was called Daniel and the Dixie Diggers. Daniel and the Dixie Diggers were created by Sally Darkrides during the late 80s or early 90s. While the first animatronics at Celebration Station were exclusive to Celebration Station, Daniel and the Dixie Diggers were not. They could be found in multiple places, whether that was a pretty big restaurant, a theme park, or even just some random place in Japan. There were two types of Daniel and the Dixie Diggers shows. There was a 5-piece band that included Daniel T. Bones, Colonel Borgard, Scratchmo, Sir Percival Perry, and Huckleberry Hound. And there was also a trio that included just Daniel, Colonel Borgard, and Scratchmo. From what I've gathered, I'm pretty sure Celebration Station used the trio, but I could be wrong. The band played old jazz music and old American music, which made sense with the theme of the band. This band is definitely the most popular band that was at Celebration Station. I personally think it was because they were there for the majority of the 90s, which was when animatronic shows like this were at their peak. Also, while the Dixie Diggers were there was another animatronic who was on his own stage, Jethro P. Hogg. He would sing country songs and sat beside a mailbox where birthday cake would slide out of. He was also made by Sally Darkrides, but there isn't much to say about him. Next up is the late 90s, where these guys showed up, and I have some bad news. I'm not really sure why, but the last two bands at Celebration Station were really horribly documented. There isn't much to say about them, but I'll try my best. I don't know the names of these characters. I don't know the name of their band. The only interesting thing I know about them is that someone by the name of Agnes on Flickr took pictures of some of the animatronics that she said were at a water park. She thought they were the Rockafire Explosion, but they aren't. A few of the animatronics seem like they were reused from the first show, but I can't be sure because of the limited amount of information. The final band at Celebration Station was created in the very early 2000s, and this one literally has no documentation. These are the only two images I could find of it, and the only thing I have to note is that with this image, it looks like they reused the stage for Jethro P. Hogg, because it looks like the cake would slide out of there. But other than that, I'm stumped. I've tried everything to find information on the last two bands, but I could barely find anything. If you know anything about the last two bands, let me know in the comments down below. I'd really appreciate it. I've decided to change the focus of my channel to animatronics, so if you're interested in that, please consider subscribing. It means a lot to me. The rest of my content will be going on my second channel. I'll put the link in the description when the first video is uploaded. Anyway, thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Proceed, 'cause this